This story is about a young man named Daniel, 29 years old. He worked the night shift at a small pizza shop, the kind that stayed open until 3 in the morning for drunks, truckers, and people who just couldn't sleep. Daniel thought it was just another ordinary night at work. But that night, the shop's last order turned out to be anything but ordinary. The shop was almost empty. It was a weekday, and the streets outside were quiet. Daniel wiped down the counters, waiting for closing time. His co-worker had already left earlier, so he was alone, like most nights. The only sound was the hum of the cooler and the occasional passing car. He hated this part of the shift. The silence. It always felt too silent. Then the shop phone rang. Cutting through the quiet, Daniel picked up. At first, there was only silence on the other end. Just when he was about to hang up, a low voice spoke.
"One large cheese pizza, no toppings, extra hot. Delivered to 44 Willow Lane."
Before Daniel could ask for a name or confirm the order, the caller hung up. No name, no number. He thought about ignoring it. The address was printed on the receipt anyway, and company policy was clear. If an order came in, it had to be delivered. So he packed the pizza, grabbed his jacket, and stepped outside into the cool night. The streets were almost deserted. Streetlights flickered. He got in his car and drove toward Willow Lane. The neighborhood was old, almost abandoned. Houses with broken windows and overgrown lawns lined the street. But number 44 stood out, not because it looked well kept, but because it was the only one with its porch light still on. Daniel climbed the steps and knocked on the door. No answer. He knocked again. The door creaked open by itself. Inside, the house was completely dark. "Hello? Pizza delivery?" he called out. No reply. The air inside was stale, heavy with mold, like the place hadn't been lived in for years. He stepped further in, looking around. Furniture was draped in sheets. A broken clock ticked on the wall. Then he saw the photographs. The hallway walls were lined with old black and white portraits. Weddings, family gatherings, birthdays. But one of them made his chest tighten. In the background of a picture from decades ago stood a man who looked exactly like him. Same face, same build. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, but it was still there. A whisper drifted down from upstairs. At first it was too faint to be sure, but then it came again, soft and clear. "Daniel." He froze. He hadn't told anyone his name. His throat went dry, but the whisper came again. "Daniel, come upstairs." Step by step, the staircase groaned under his weight. The pizza box shook in his hands. The higher he climbed, the colder the air became. At the end of the hallway, a room glowed faintly with light. Its door was slightly open. Inside, a rocking chair moved slowly back and forth. In the chair sat a shadowy figure. Daniel whispered, "Hello." The figure leaned forward. Its voice was soft, but sharp enough to cut through the silence. "You're late." A bolt of lightning lit up the window for a split second, and in that flash, Daniel saw the face. It was his own, older, pale, lifeless eyes staring back at him, his uniform, his same features, but smiling in a way that didn't feel human. The figure pointed to the pizza box in his hands. "Put it on the table," it whispered, "and don't forget, next time it's your turn to stay." Before Daniel could move, the light bulb above him burst with a sharp pop. Darkness swallowed the room. He screamed. The next moment he was back at the shop. He blinked, standing behind the counter as if he had never left. His heart raced, sweat dripping down his neck. The phone rang again. He picked it up with trembling hands. On the other end, the same low voice spoke. "One large cheese pizza, no toppings, extra hot. Delivered to 44 Willow Lane." next morning, Daniel's car was found parked outside the pizza shop. The engine was still warm, keys still in the ignition, but Daniel himself was never seen again. Now subscribe and like to save your life.